Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eternal Tournament series. My name is Pojo, and I'm joined today by Paradox.
Hello, LocoPojo. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Still a little bit under the weather, so we've got a bit of a scratchy throat for today, but we are getting into some pretty exciting games. I'm pretty excited to see what's up for all of the players who have made it into the top. Is it 13 or 14 at the moment? And we're going to be like basically just playing some rounds from the middle eight and getting our first match, Lights Out Ace on Xena Control versus Angrychicken on Vodacom.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. I'll be honest here. I'm not actually sure who is favored in this matchup. We have two huge decks that are really trying to. One of them trying to combo out, and the other one really just trying to kind of go big and go over the other one. Um, but I imagine we're gonna, if things go good for both decks, we're gonna see some really crazy board states.
Yeah, this should be pretty intense. There's a lot of good removal on Lights Out Ace's side and some potential to push, but the Combray deck is very, very good at stalling out, and certainly if it hits that Vodafone Mystic Ascendant at the top without particular answers for on Ace's side, then it's going to be a little bit difficult for Ace to sort of push through and win the game in that fashion. I think this might favor Ace after sideboards, but early on, I'm probably guessing that Chicken can take a win or two.
Yeah, I think so. LightsOutAce definitely has to be the beatdown game one, I believe. And I don't think he's going to have. Well, he'll have probably just a little bit of difficulty stopping the combo early on. But yeah, post sideboard when he can bring in a little bit more sort of targeted precision to to control the combo, he might be able to take it in. Looks like Angry Chicken is going for the redraw right now. Opts to get rid of the first hand since it had one power. And the second one is a little slow, but he's got two voice of the speaker, so it looks like he'll be getting a lot of power this game if they get the
It
stick.
doesn't look like he's going to have any mana issues this game. Like, just nothing in terms of power is going to be lost. He's got Voice of the Speaker to play down, and Ace can remove that, but if he does, then he's basically just all he's doing is shutting down Angry Chicken from getting from 5 power to like 7. Which, while Chicken certainly wants 7 power, he's pretty likely to get it over the next 7 or so draws.
Oh yeah.
So it seems fairly likely that at the moment, there's not a lot of value to Ace Vara's choicing Angry Chicken. If he hits Vodafone Temple Speaker, however, that's a much different story. And Vara's choice is actually going to be a star card here due to its ability to silence Vodafone. And even if it goes back into his hand, there's no reason that Chicken would want to cast it again.
Yeah, that Varus in this matchup is just two power to kill Vodkin. I didn't really think about that until just now. Looks like Lights Out Ace has the A and into a Sandstorm Titan. Huge swing right there.
Of Iron and Titan both on the ground. That's 8 damage next turn. Chicken will be able to harsh rule it, but not until the turn after. He can set up a Power Stone or he can find the way. He can't do both because he didn't draw any undepleted power. So it's a question of whether or not he wants to establish power through Power Stone or if he wants to try and set up a little bit better for other things. And he's choosing to opt for the Seek Power route, throw a Vanquish out against the Sandstorm Titan, and this means that he won't be able to harsh roll next turn, but he'll be able to voice the speaker and get a bunch of power and sort of like get into a more defensive posture and use his harsh rules later.
Yeah, looks like he's opting for voice to speaker here instead of Power Stone, which is a little bit surprising, but not entirely. Um, he's probably just gonna have to harsh rule that away soon if Lights Out Ace puts down another threat. But I guess with just these three power units on the board, he can hold himself out for maybe one or two more turns.
Yep, so there's 6 on the field. Chicken can harsh rule if he wants to. Ace has an Annihilate in hand, which is not an amazing spell here. It will allow him to kill Mystic Ascendant if Angry Chicken draws into it, but at the moment we know that Chicken's hand is entirely hybrid units, so that's not going to be a particularly effective removal spell. And with the harsh rule clearing the entire board, the beatdown strategy goes out the window. Ace is now going to have to find a way to push the extra damage off of just his just his 4 power that he's got.
Yeah, there's a undepleted power here for Chicken. He's got the Power Stone now, which means next turn he's going to be able to drop Vodacon finally.
Being very good. He can play Seed. I think could he play Seed of Progress there? I'm not actually certain. He has
he
the Vodafone
yeah, he
Temple
could
Speed.
have. Yeah,
Yeah.
he opted not to play it, which probably just means he's um, hoping to get it off with Destiny off of Vodacon since knew he was going to be at 7.
This point, it's safe for Chicken to play Vodacon's down onto the board, but he doesn't know that. And if he sets it down against a Sandstorm Titan, then he's going to take a lot of damage in the process. He's got to consider the harsh roll here to make sure that he stays high on life total. But if he does that, he's going to run out of removal, and Ace's next drop will be the one that kills him, which will be the Champion of Mystery from Ace's hand. But there's a lot of other options here. Like he can basically just go either for Speaker or for Harsh Rule. And then on Ace's side, there's the chance of getting the Mystic Ascendant draw engine off. There's the chance of playing Champion of Mystery out and getting another big unit. Like it's really a question of when this Harsh Rule goes off that's going to determine whether or not Angrychicken lives or dies.
Yeah, he's going to have to be really careful here.
Herschel fired early. Ace still has 2 big threats, but they both cost 6, so he's got to draw into some power to actually get going here. He finds it, it's depleted, so there's no play this turn. But
and
Chicken's
now
sitting on
Angrychicken's
3
got triple
Vodacons.
Vodacon in hand. Here's the first one. Ace probably responds with a Champion of Mystery here, and oh, he found the power. Never mind. He's got the Mystic Ascendant.
Yeah, I think if Chicken had played that 1 power earlier, oh goodness, the Vodacon engine is going off.
And he got
and
to
he's
seek
got
power,
Find
so he
the Way
can
and Seek Power,
keep
yeah.
it going. Wow.
Quite a bit of time left. He's going to swing for 12 here. I'm actually not certain why he doesn't buff up with Find the Way and Seek Power, but
yeah,
maybe he just wants to play another Speaker.
I wonder if he thought that maybe he could get a block out of it, threatening a Harsh Rule. But okay, well, and now he goes down.
At this point, Ace has to have removal for 2 Vodacons, and that's not Xenon's strong suit. I mean, the only mass removal in Ace's deck is Stray into Shadow, and that's no good against these Vodacons. So with Champion of Mystery as a potential unblockable unit, he can push a little bit more damage, but he's still got to last against 2 14-14, 15-15, definitely 16-16, and 17-17 with the Seek powers. Also, Angrychicken just never drawing anything but gas. So
oh my goodness,
this is looking pretty dire at this point. Another Desert Marshal means there's no unblockable threats, and Chicken's going to have a blocker.
Stop it.
So this is going to be pretty quick. There's not a lot that Ace can do at this point. He can draw into Vora's Choice, but that's not going to completely solve his board problem.
Yeah, and we actually see on the top of his deck is the Waystone Infuser, so we know his next draw is going to be completely blank for this.
Looking pretty desperate.
Looking pretty good for Chicken. Oh, almost swinging in and then backing off. I mean, without a doubt, he's going to be swinging, but I wonder if he just told something to LightsOutAce there, thinking about his sequence of plays here.
Yeah, I think Chicken's pretty safe here at the moment. The extra power does, in fact, give him this +1/+1 on Vodacon. So that's a little bit of extra damage there, and it means that his Desert Marshals can push in a disaster scenario. But with LightsOutAce not really running any like board sweepers, this is just an easy play for Chicken. He can play as many threats as he wants, and that just makes it harder for LightsOutAce to deal with them.
Yep, and there's finally getting value out of the Annihilate, staring down a board of multi-faction units, and now he's got Waystone Infuser in hand. No idea what's on the top of his deck.
Well, could be a power, but clearly is not. Ace with the 7 coming in, obviously not going to get anywhere there, and that'll be game 1.
Well, that was a pretty good showing for Voda combo. Got all 3 Vodas online and didn't have any of them stopped, so that was a pretty strong showing for him. Looking at the sideboard, I can't imagine that LightsOutAce does not bring in all 4 Varus choices for this matchup.
Oh yeah, they're so good against Vodacon, and he can use them to discard cards like Mystic Ascendant early, as well as Martial Ironthorn. If you can get Angrychicken's big units out of the way. That cuts a lot of value out of the deck and makes it much easier for the Xenon control deck to become the beatdown, which probably is going to be LightsOutAce's plan. Vote combo decks are traditionally going to be a bit higher end than most control decks, just due to the way that Vodacon works. There are some instances where if you have enough answers for Vodacon and for Mystic Ascendant, you can essentially stop the value and prevent it from being as ridiculous as it can get. But that requires you to have an awful lot of focused removal. And while Ace can certainly go that route, it's not really what his sideboard's doing. He's got Vara's Choice, he's got Subvert for stealing cards, that's pretty useful, and he's got Azindil's Gift, and that will help him sort of put a lid on this control matchup.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry. Let me.
So
Yes.
on Chicken side, we have Stand Together, which is a card that just really allows you to protect all of your stuff on the ground. So if Ace can't get the big cards out of Chicken's hand, then Stand Together is definitely going to help him like really, really early on.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be a key player here in this matchup. He's able to draw it. Looks like he also he does have Protect, but he does main board 3 or 4 of those in this matchup, or just not in this matchup, but he main boards 3 or 4, I believe.
Yep, all four are in the main board, so it's definitely going to be pretty good for Chicken as far as like answering single target removal. I don't think he drew a single protect that last round, but it's
No, he
a
did not.
very devastating card because it allows you to leave units on the board for turns longer than they should be. And in the case of cards like Sandstorm Titan, Martial Ironthorn, Mystic Ascendant, and Vodacon, all of that means a lot of damage to your opponent's face, which can turn any situation where you're basically vying for card advantage into a situation where your opponent now has to really struggle just to stay alive.
Oh yes. LightsOutAce looks like he drew 2 of potentially many Varas this game. Otherwise, he's still a little bit slow on the hand. Able to grab the first Photocon out of his hand, and is now Angrychicken kind of doesn't have a whole lot going on other than the Martial Ironthorn, which will be really nice. But other than that, is looking mostly just at a bunch of power and a bunch of gas.
That combination of Power Stone and Martial Ironthorn is really, really good. If you can play Ironthorn on 4 and then immediately ramp yourself to 7, that's a pretty sick way to get an advance on all of the stuff that you're trying to plot early on. So Chicken's probably going to opt for that, and having the Protect up after that is going to be very, very helpful to him. In the
Oh
meantime,
yeah.
Ace has the Stewards on the ground. These are really tricky units to deal with. They're pretty hard to block. They basically deal just enough damage to be threatening on the board. Once you have the Desert Marshals and the Ironthorn, then you can actually do a block that way, but that means that you're not going to be able to deal with cards like Vara's Choice. And Ace actually going for the Vara's
Yeah.
Choice on the hand. I actually really like this play. It can get the Desert Marshal out, and it can also get Sandstorm Titan, both of which are cards that Ace is really going to want to get rid of.
Yeah.
If you have Vara's Choice, there is no way for the Desert Marshal to ambush out in response. So this is a really good way to sort of disable that Desert Marshal play into basically Steward of the Pasts. And Ace does have the Protect
Yeah.
for it.
And then he responds with the Annihilate.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a really, really good sequence of events there for Ace. He gets the Martial Ironthorn that he wanted to get, and then he also gets the Annihilate. So
Yeah.
I think there was probably no way that wasn't going to happen either way, but choosing Navarro's face on the hand with the suspicion that Chicken has other big bombs was a really good idea in this situation.
Yeah, that was a great play by LightsOutAce. Drop Sandstorm Titan. Now he's going to probably be able to Desert Marshal and and get the block right there, which will save him for a little bit. He's going to go down to 13 here, and it's he's really going to be looking for something to do here because he's actually a little bit short on action and plays. Luckily, LightsOutAce is a little short on power at the moment, looking at a handful of 5, 6 power cards, and even a that's a last word he's got there. A foil last word, nonetheless. Very nice.
This gap between 4 and 6 for Ace was killer last round, and it's really hurting him here too. He just doesn't have the ability to ramp the way that Chicken does, so he's not getting access to his big, big bombs, cards like Predatory Carnosaur, Champion of Mystery, and indeed the Last Word until much later in the game, which gives Chicken time to draw into those Vodakins, those Mystic Ascendants, the cards that really help him in the matchup.
Yeah. He finally gets the power there with the Vara's Choice, and we also now see the Waystone Infuser off the top to help him get going. But in the meantime, Angrychicken actually finds a Mystic Ascendant, which really helps his hand, including the Great Parliament off the top from that as well. It is now starting to look really good for Angrychicken, where before he was kind of looking a little low with nothing really to do.
Problem with this matchup against the Xenon deck is that essentially the Xenon deck is still a deck that very highly specializes in single target removal. And when you're
Yes.
playing cards like Mystic Ascendant, Vodafone, and Great Parliament, you generate more threats than these decks can handle in the long run. So while Ace has the ability to beat the beatdown early, he really hasn't been able to take advantage of that because there's too quick of a jump for Angrychicken to the sort of bigger hands with the Mystic Ascendants and the Vodacones. And now that they're in full force, there's not a lot that Ace can do to stop them. He's got the Carnosaurs and the Champion. He has the last word for later, but none of this is going to help him in the immediate. And
Yeah.
oh my
Oh,
goodness,
and the
what a
Carnosaur.
Seraph
Yes.
rip.
Wow. Yeah, and that's going to be the game. LightsOutAce just hits the concede button as soon as he sees the dinosaur.
So yeah, that's a 2-0 for Angrychicken. Very, very solid play. And really just took the advantage against the sort of bigger control deck. This is one of the matchups where Chicken, I think, ended up actually being very heavily favored. I predicted that LightsOutAce might have a little bit more on the sideboard against it, but no, it just ends up that like there's not a lot that Ace can do when Chicken is protecting his own units and getting his ramp up to the point where he can actually start playing really, really big bombs.
Yeah, I didn't didn't fully consider just how like with all the multi-faction units and really just sort of once Chicken was able to get going, I didn't realize just how little Xenon had in response to get things going. He really had to be a little bit more of a beatdown, and he just was not able to get it going. Even with the Ion into the Sandstorm Titan on one of those games, it just wasn't enough pressure to really stop Chicken between all the silences and everything else to get going. So
Yeah,
that'll be
Iron Steward and Sandstorm Titan, all very solid cards in Ace's matchup, but basically he just couldn't do anything with sort of the bigger stuff, and that really kind of hurts him in the late game.
yeah. Do we have a backup match coming up right now?
I think we're looking at the possibility of Toth versus HiThar, and we should be going to that as soon as we can. But yeah, like we might actually be seeing yet another round. Looks like we're going to be jumping into that very, very shortly. Toth's hand cam is coming up for me, so I will let you know when I have that up. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and see if we can spectate HiThar and get ourselves a little bit of a matchup going as a backup. But yeah, very, very solid play from Chicken, and certainly took advantage of sort of that hole in the meta. He brought a very unique deck for this list, something that he was very comfortable with, and that means that not only is he going to be playing at pretty much, his sort of maximum capacity, but also like he's going to be doing really well against a lot of those slower decks. So
Yeah, I
if
think
it's
so.
yeah, if it's a proper fit, Chicken might be able to take himself back up into the top four, rather.
Yes, top 8. And I have, sorry, excuse me, first day of casting.
Man. Yeah, so like HiThar versus HiThar's gonna be running the Bruised Combre list, the sort of like Shadow plus Combre setup that's gonna be really, really solid against a lot of the well, it's another like big control deck that can do a lot of really ridiculous things in the late game with the ability to dark return back those very, very big threats. Once he gets those going, that's actually going to really help him out, and like it should be a pretty solid list. Toth, on the other hand, is running a sort of Praxis big stuff. I think he's got the only Praxis list in the current top 16, and he has a cost. Well, he's got a Crimson Firemaw and a Sandstorm Titan both set up, ready to go, and
Yeah,
on
and he's
board, he's doing just extremely well at the moment.
yeah, Toth has just got nothing but gas right now. HiThar, on the other hand, has not a ton to do. He's got a very expensive banish in hand that was just slowed, I believe, this last turn. He's able to get the vanquish there, find the way, and he's looks like he's preparing to take. Okay, no, he has Seraph down, but he's still probably going to take this hit by the Reinarch. Um, uh, Not sure if he is. Yeah, we do see an obliterate in the yard, so we know that Toth has not taken those out at all. I'm not sure why he would, even with protects around. Would might be the only reason. Um, And Toth, go ahead. He draws a Zenith Initiation, which is going to be brutal right here. He's going to be able to
Yeah,
drop
it's
actually a card in hand.
of damage. HiThar does have the Desert Marshal in hand, but he doesn't have the power for it right now. So if Toth goes for the initiation and kills the Seraph, that means that not only is the Seraph not activating next turn, but he also gets a pretty sizable amount of extra damage. He puts it on the Crimson Fire Maw, which is the clever play, actually. I only see the Overwhelm, you know, you only see red, but like it's actually better to put it on the Fire Maw, both to buff the Fire Maw up and also to make it so that the Reinhardt does even more damage to the face. At this point, HiThar can banish the bigger Fire Maw, which is kind of an issue, but HiThar's kind of on his last legs. He can banish, he can Desert Marshal, and then once that's done, he's out of tricks.
Yeah, I think that's his only surviving route here, and it looks like that's what he's going to go for. Yeah, banish on that, and then he's going to block, get the overwhelm out, and then just chump block him. He's still going to be at 4, meaning he is dead to a lot of things right here. And obliterate off the top. If he tries to play any unit, it looks like there's a displacer in hand on Toth's side, so not looking too good for him. And look, he draws Desert Marshal off the top, and there's the concede.
There is the concede. Toth wins this round and takes it against HiThar. I'm not sure of the exact score, but he's won at least 2. So that's it for HiThar, and Toth is going to be basically moving a little bit up in the bracket. So this is a middle 8 bracket, of course. So whoever will get the most points, like the top 4 of these, are going to be going to the top 8. And yeah, it's going to be pretty solid to see exactly how things shake out. We won't really know how well everyone's done until all of the matches are played. Some people are going to gain some advantages early. Some people are going to gain some advantages late. In the meantime, however, we're going to be going to an interview, so we will see you guys for the next game very soon.